This event this afternoon is a momentous one. It is an occasion in which a Guyanese company will be sharing with you a sterling accomplishment, an accomplishment that was made in record time. I recall less than 7 months ago, I received a call from Faisal, the CEO of Guysons Oil and Gas. They had just formulated the company, and he wanted to know how they can announce this, how they can get their name out there. Coincidentally, GPEX was just about to occur for the first time, the inaugural exhibition and summit. So I said to Faisal that that venue and that occasion would be a very good one to make themselves known. So GPEX started and they made the announcement. Faisal would have appeared on the very first broadcast from GPEX on the very first day. And I think immediately after he would have stepped away from the camera, he began to receive telephone calls from persons who are interested in doing business with this company. So Guysons Oil and Gas, less than 7 months old, has moved with lightning speed to the place that they are now. This afternoon, we will be making that announcement, just before which we will be inviting two key people to share with you some brief remarks: the operations manager of ExxonMobil Guyana, Mr. Mike Ryan, and Mr. Patrick Henry, who is the project director for the Center for Local Business Development. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mike Ryan to the podium.
Welcome to government representatives that are here. Welcome to our partners on the LISA projects, SBM, Technip FMC, SIPEM, Noble Drilling, and others, and everyone else interested in business development in Guyana. This is a great day. Special thanks to Faisal and his team, Guysons, and also the Business Development Center here for making this all possible and hosting today's event. I'm pleased to congratulate Guysons and be here to recognize their contribution. ExxonMobil has worked closely with various ministries of the government of Guyana to identify the need for the Center of Local Business Development we're in today, to help provide a role and some leadership towards business development here in Guyana and Georgetown. I'm very appreciative of the strong support that the Ministries of Business and Natural Resources have had on this initiative. Local suppliers are important to the success of our operations, and through the Center for Local Business Development, we strengthen the capabilities of local companies as well as improve the competitiveness of Guyana's industry. We recognize that it takes investment in time, money, and resources to grow the supply base in Guyana. That vision, determination, and partnership has helped foster the success that we are here to recognize today. After months of hard work and hundreds of hours of effort by Guysons, the Center and its partner FSM, Guysons Oil and Gas, Guysons Engineering has achieved ISO 9001 certification, the first company to achieve this milestone through the process here developed at the Center. Congratulations. ISO 9001, some of you may not be familiar with it. It's a well-known standard acknowledged by many companies as a standard and as an expectation on how work is done and managed. ExxonMobil and others in the oil and gas industry recognize this standard as somebody that we can work with, that can deliver on commitments. That's important to us. It is a demonstration of how they will work and how they collaborate with industry. It provides better internal management, increases efficiency and effectiveness of their processes, it improves customer retention and acquisition, and it provides consistent outcomes measured and monitored. The ISO 9001 certification is done through an independent ISO 9000 certification body that verifies that a company, such as Guysons, has achieved the globally recognized standards. Early in my career, I was a quality assurance engineer. And so I know personally the commitment, the leadership, and the determination it takes to achieve this and to maintain it. So congratulations to you. In addition, I understand that the center has also supported Guysons becoming OSHA 18001 certified. That's a safety recognition. Quality and safety go hand in hand to deliver on commitments. The application of international standards will serve to make the entire economy more competitive. At ExxonMobil, we say locally developed, globally competitive. The center is a reliable resource for the information on safety, technical standards, procurement opportunities, tendering processes, project-specific information, and will continue to provide necessary mentoring to assist firms in the oil and gas industry succeed. In closing, this achievement by Guysons Oil and Gas and Guysons Engineering only reinforces our opinion that Guyanese suppliers are up to the challenge to be some of the best in the world to support the oil and gas industry. Thanks very much.
Over the past 18 months, the center's helped thousands of Guyanese businesses get registered. They've come through classes. They've learned about the oil and gas sector. And today kind of marks the turning point of what the center's done over that period of time, in the sense that we've started to get businesses not only knowledgeable about the oil and gas sector, not only understanding what the procurement process is, but suddenly to become competitive internationally and to start joining the supply chain. So congratulations to Guysons and all they did. It was a quick process. I'd like to thank David Bertelli and the team at FSM, the consulting firm that took them through it. FSM spent literally hundreds of hours with both at Guysons facility and working behind the scenes, developing the processes and procedures and the training that Guysons went through. So that service is here in Guyana. It's been utilized by others outside of the oil and gas sector, and that skill set really transitioned to this sector, international certifications and what's needed. In addition to that, I'd like to thank the center staff. Alan Lambert, who you saw earlier, is our QA/QC person around ISO 9001 certification. So he was going out to Guysons, explaining things, making sure that FSM was doing their job. So again, that idea that FSM did a great job, but we were making sure that job was quality. And I think that's what businesses in Guyana need to understand as well, is that there are continual checks, there are continual processes and procedures that they'll need to follow. Also, I think kudos has to go to Guysons about the time and money they invested in this process. The center paid for ISO 9001 compliance, but Guysons had to make investments in their staff, in their facilities, in their procedures, and in their training to get better to meet the requirements. Mike talked about an international third-party audit. Guysons paid for that audit themselves. The center brought them to compliance, worked with them, but in order for Guysons to truly adapt those processes and procedures as their own, they needed some level of investment, and then they took it to a step further and ensured they got the international certification. So the investment in time, money that they spent, I think is kudos to Guysons. The center has a group of companies we've been working with over about the last 6-7 months, along with Guysons, that we're bringing to international compliance in ISO and OSHA. So hopefully we'll have a few more of these conferences and people will be nipping at the tails of Faisal and his company. But also the center welcomes interest from other companies. So if your company is involved in the oil and gas sector and you're interested in learning more about ISO, I ask you to call Alan Lambert here at the center and ask him about that process and procedure. But this is really about Guysons and what they did to get there and how they did it so quickly. I think that what people should know as I walk away is that it makes them both internationally recognized and a partner that people want to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Ryan from Exxon, Mr. Patrick Henry from CLBD. Thank you very much for your kind words, and we appreciate more than anything everybody taking the time out of their very busy schedule to come and join us today on what is arguably the most historic day in the Guysons group of companies history. look, safety is very important to us, so much so that I got off a flight very late last night, and walking out the house, I almost picked up my hard hat, safety glasses and safety boots for this press conference. But, you know, thankfully I'm not wearing that today. Guysons has been helping industry turn for almost 30 years. Guysons Engineering is based on just off Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, Guyana. And speaking of Mandela, the late great Nelson Mandela is well documented in having a conversation with his then national rugby captain, coming off a poor performance, or a set of poor performances, in 1995. Mr. Mandela famously said, "In order to build our nation, we must all exceed our own expectations." The captain understood the hidden message. The team worked harder than ever that year. South Africa were crowned Rugby World Cup champions in 1995. Sometimes circumstances demand us to expect more of ourselves for the greater good. Guyana, this is that time. It's time for everybody to come together and work as one to raise Guyana as the next big emerging market in the oil and gas industry. Guysons is ISO certified, and I must take this opportunity to thank each and every person who made this happen. From Patrick Henry and Alan Lambert and their fantastic team at CLBD, David Bertelli and Antoine, who are like parts of the furniture at Guysons now. They're there so often, you know, we miss them when they're not there, and we don't know what we're going to do without them not being there now. So thank you especially to you and your team at FSM. To the guys and girls at Exxon, you guys know who you are. Thank you very much for the assistance when we've needed it. Last but not least, the Guysons family, as we call it, within the workshop. From Tavia Bowen, our new health and safety, head of health and safety, to Christian Taboga, who runs the operation from an admin standpoint, to Afzal Hanif, Deepal, Prasad, Imran, Taslim, all the guys on the machine shop floor. Thank you very much from the bottom of all of our hearts. We couldn't have done this without you guys. Also, the board of directors, the family trust, and everybody that's put faith in us to go through this journey, thank you very much. We also have a special visitor from Guysons Oil and Gas, Mr. Kenrick Hoyt, who's made the long journey over. We acknowledge him and thank him for his continued support. What does ISO mean for Guysons? Well, for the first time, Guysons, because of our quality management systems, are tendering for international-based tenders. So we are currently going through tenders for companies in Brazil and in Trinidad and Tobago. That wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the ISO certification. We are also speaking to internationally based investors and partners, again, who wanted to see the quality management systems in place at Guysons before they would consider taking discussions further. So much so that myself and a group are flying out to Houston, Texas at the end of this month for a 4th meeting with a major oil field company who are very interested to move their regional headquarters to Guyana, and we hope that Guysons will be that hub for them. Finally, to my Guyanese brothers and sisters in the business side, make the investment into the ISO. It's worth it. While we're here as a machine shop and a number of other services, we're always here for a chat or a helping hand. So please, at any time, come and join us. Thank you very much.